Hello, hello, hello. Gosh, I think this is my first stream in probably like a year, maybe longer, probably longer than a year. Hello. How's everybody doing today? So I'm going to be checking the comments on my phone because this is how I used to do it forever ago. Oh, they're working. Okay, cool. They're working on my computer. I don't have to use my phone. Hey Anna, how's it going? I am doing good. It's just the middle of the workday, so I thought I would take a quick break to do a live because this is something I have not done in so long, and I'm trying to get back into it a little bit at a time. Trying to update everybody on like what's been going on with my situation in the last year. And I just wanted to interact with like everybody that's still been subscribed to my channel since it's been so long. Hey guys, to you guys coming on. Go ahead and leave a comment so I know who is here. And I just kind of wanted to do like a random chat with you guys and see how everybody was doing. Hey, Maria. How is your Monday going? My Monday has been pretty like not crappy, but like pretty crappy. I'm working from home. I'm a counselor, so I have already like 30 plus clients. And every day, like I have my schedule, right, of people that I have to get a hold of. And I swear I tried to get a hold of like 8 people today, and either nobody answers. Hey, Michelle. Oh my gosh, I haven't talked to you in forever. Um, Either nobody's answering, or when they do answer, they're like rescheduling because they have a headache or they're sleeping, or they just don't have the time today. So I'm like, all right, today's going to be one of those days. Like I'm literally going to get nothing accomplished. So, and then my schedule is 8:30 to 7 o'clock. So it's 2:30 where I'm at right now, 2:40. So I still have a good like 4 hours before my day is over. But in the middle of it all, I'm a super big multitasker because that's like the only way that I get anything done is by multitasking. I have math assignments for my math classes that are due today. So I've been like in between like calling clients, I've been like working on math homework. I've been doing it for years, but it's what gets the job done, apparently. Oh my gosh. So, how's everybody doing with this whole horrible, crappy situation? And I know every state is different. Some states have like reopened. A lot of states haven't, like Washington State, we are like completely closed down. We have like restaurants open, but like for delivery, grocery stores, obviously, gas stations, essential businesses like doctors and stuff like that. But the only thing, like, so they just reinstated camping, fishing, and like some parks are open during the day right now. Other than that, like like every movie theaters are closed, like the salons are closed. Malls obviously closed. Retail just opened for curbside pickup, but that's it. So like yeah, most everything is like still closed down. So we can't do anything still. My day hasn't even really started yet. I don't go to work until 5. Okay, that's cool. So is that like that's definitely like a graveyard shift then, huh? I worked graveyard like once or twice. Like I've had a lot of jobs, but I remember I worked for a company out here in Washington that made snow skis for K2 years ago. And it was a graveyard shift. And I did it for like a week. And then I was like, nope, can't do this anymore. Like I literally cannot sleep when I go home. So I love swing shift. I love swing shift. Not a morning person, so I'm not like an 8 to 5 type person, even though I'm working like kind of those hours right now. Bored. Are you working right now, Maria? Or is your work non-essential? Did you end up getting laid off or furloughed? Things have been pretty much the same for me. I don't do anything other than work. What kind of work do you do, Anna? So much has happened though, you guys, since I was like on here last. And I actually posted a video. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I posted it yesterday so I can update everybody on what's going on. But one of the biggest things, so I used to get trolls on YouTube for videos, right? Everybody has trolls, but like some people would come on and they would, they complain just about everything and anything, but they would like make the meanest comments like about my teeth. Um, so like I have a gap between those teeth right there. And then like some of my teeth up here like started shifting and like moving a lot. So it was crowded on the bottom and it was like splitting apart, like separating on the top. So I've been talking about it for 5 years. I got Invisalign. My teeth look super straight with the Invisalign trays in, but I still have like a good 8 months probably until like it's all done and everything. But yeah, so I got that in February. I'm super excited about it, even though it's such a bitch to wear. But so that's one new change that I've had in the last year. Let's see. I used to work mornings, but I got switched to nights. I just work at Taco Bell. Just work at Taco Bell. Girl, you were on the front lines working at Taco Bell. Believe that. I'm not that far from you. I'm in Oregon. Okay, that's cool. What part of Oregon are you in? I'm like 3 hours from Portland. I lived in Oregon. I lived in Eugene. I lived in Astoria. I lived in Portland for a while. Um, where else? I think those are the only places I've lived in Oregon. But yeah, I went to Job Corps in Astoria. A lot of people don't know about that town, but it's like where they filmed the Goonies and like a bunch of other random movies. But it's super weird town though. I call it a Twilight Zone town because it's just a really trippy, like you get that feeling like it's haunted. So I totally remember that. But I love Oregon. Like me and my husband talked about like when he gets out, like eventually like moving away from Washington, if the situation's right. And we talked about either Oregon or California. Like I think we're gonna stay on the West Coast. We're not talking about moving away from the West Coast. Let's see, Maria, stay-at-home wife, but I lost my husband 2 months ago. So everything hit all at once, and having to stay home has been hard, especially with kids. I'm so sorry about that, Maria. Do you mind if I ask what happened with your husband? Yeah, that I don't have kids, so I definitely like can't put myself in your shoes. I compare So when my friends, because all of my friends have kids, and I'm 40, almost 41, so all of their kids are like, getting grown or grown. But I chose not to have kids. It just wasn't. I didn't meet my husband until I was 34. So, and then he's still in prison. We don't have EFVs yet, so we just haven't had the opportunity. But um, whenever my friends talk about kids, I always compare like my Boston Terriers to them because they are like toddlers. They're crazy and they sleep a lot sometimes, but they don't sleep a lot other times. And they're getting in trouble and they have OCD and you name it, they have it. I'm about an hour from Portland. I live in Independence. Oh, I've heard of Independence. Okay. And I know where the Dalles is. It Dallas or the Dalles? I know where the Dalles is. Wow. Was he incarcerated, Maria? I have another friend that lives in Vegas, and I've been talking to her for several years now. I think like 3 or 4 years. And her husband just passed away, unfortunately, too. Like, gosh, maybe like 2 months ago, I want to say. So I think it was like right in the beginning of the whole COVID-19 thing. He ended up passing, and I believe his was from it was like yeah, I think it was liver failure, I'm pretty sure. Oh, okay. I gotcha. I know exactly, like, I can literally picture, like, I-5 going from Portland to Salem, like, in my head. I've driven that road so many times, like, yeah, I could drive it with my eyes closed, I swear. So I grew up in Redding, which is Northern California. It's like 2.5 hours north of Sacramento. And so I used to drive from Sacramento to Redding, like back and forth all the time because I had family in Sacramento. And then I used to drive from my mom's, which is where I'm at now in Port Orchard, Washington, to my dad's in Redding a lot. So I made that like 9-hour drive like so many times. Oh, wow. That would be crazy to, like, have your family own a carnival or run a carnival. I don't know how that works. No, he wasn't, but I'm into prisoner reform and helping prisoners. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you're here. We need more people that not just people that aren't just affected by it because they have a loved one that's incarcerated, but people that just care in general. You know what I mean? Of like how our country is ran. You know what I mean? As far as like the justice system. Um, I had never dated anybody before I met my husband that was in jail or in prison. Never talked to anybody. Like I had friends, I'm sure that were in jail or prison, but I never like relationship wise, I'd never like reached out to, an inmate or I'd never gotten into a relationship like that. So this was all new to me. So when I met Kevin, like I just kind of dove head into it and like I wanted to know everything about it that I possibly could. I was one of those girls that was like watching Locked Up and like 60 Days In and like every prison or jail show that you could think of. That's when like in 2014 there was a show that had just come out on Lifetime. It was about prison wives and it took place in Washington actually. And I'm friends with one of the girls that was on it, Lakeisha. But I remember watching that show religiously. You just get so excited about it at first to learn this new like culture, and this new lifestyle. But then once you learn about like how our system actually is, like you get infuriated, and you want to do something about it. You want to make a change, and then you realize like how hard it is to make a change with all of that, like all of the steps that you have to go through prison reform, like working with your state, going to lobby days and like talking to senators and Congress people and, just being like super, like having to have the time to be super involved in it. It's crazy. I can go on for hours about it. Um, my best friend is in Portland, so I'm there a lot to see him. Oh, that's cool. I love Portland. Portland is a really cool town. I lived in part of, I think it was northeast. No, southeast. I lived in southeast Portland. It was like Division and 100 and like 60 something or 170 something. This is when I was like way younger. I was like 21 at the time. But I really liked it. It was cool. It was a cool town. It's similar to Seattle and as like the weather is like very similar, but like the city is definitely different. I'm like an hour from Seattle. So I'm more in a out towards the country, suburban kind of area. I did live in Seattle for a little while, but I got really burnt out on like the one-way streets and like no parking or like having to move my car every 2 days to avoid getting a ticket, like just stupid little things like that, the traffic and stuff like that. I got burnt out on it. So it's like I'm going back to like a less populated area. But yeah, right now actually in school, because I am finishing up my bachelor's, I have electives that I had to take just to make my 180 credits. And so I decided to take this quarter. I'm taking my last math class, which is amazing because I hate math. Um, it's math and society, but still, it doesn't make any sense. Sorry for you guys that like math, but I cannot stand it. Um, so I'm taking math and society. I am taking a sociology class, which I took when I was like 18, but they don't have record of it because it was so long ago because I'm so ancient. So I'm taking sociology, which is another like super easy class just because there's like no wrong or right answer. You know what I mean? Everything is just what your opinion is. And then I'm taking an introduction to corrections class because I was like, this is a super easy A. Like, I looked it up. The professor is super cool. There's like literally 3 assignments every week, like nothing new, nothing different. Um, Super cool guy. And it's like 5 credits. So I was like, yeah, why not? Gonna take that. So I'm almost done. I have like this quarter is halfway over, and then now I'm gonna take summer quarter and I have 6 credits left for my electives. And then I have to take 3 foreign language classes, 3 quarters of foreign language. So I'm gonna do American Sign Language. So once I finish those, then I am done. I'll have my bachelor's and yeah, probably get a pay raise, get to be able to put it on my resume. So that's awesome. But yeah, it's my major is addiction studies and my minor is psychology. So, and I actually, if I wanted to go and get a couple more electives, I could go for another double minor in like sociology. but I don't know. I don't think minors like really matter too much, so I rather would just not waste my time. He's over Northeast Portland. I love there being at night with all the lights. Yeah, I love that area. Do you have an email that I can message you on regarding? Yeah, absolutely. So I will give you my. I'm not going to give you my YouTube email because I never check it, and I guess that's. I hate it because people that will come on my channel will email me on there sometimes, but I never check it. So sometimes it'll be 6 months before I see an email. So the email I'm going to give you is my like my personal like main email that I use. Like I literally use it for everything. So I'll be sure to get your email. And then if you want to add me on Facebook, you can always do that. I can give you guys my name on Facebook. I think I'm only Tammy Light, actually, if you search Facebook. And if you do, like, I always do this on Facebook, like searching for somebody, you put their first last name plus, and then like what state or what city they're in. So if you put my name plus Washington on Facebook, it'll pop up with me. So yeah, you can add me on there, and like I think Facebook is like the easiest way to talk. So either there or Instagram. Oh, sorry, I missed your other message. So JPay right now is awful. I can't give you like the most accurate answers on JPay like with current situations, just because Kevin has been in county for the last 2 months. And in county and Washington State, they don't use JPay, they use Securus, which is part of JPay. I believe JPay owns Securus, or it might be the other way around. I always get it confused, but they are linked together. Like they're sister companies or parent companies or whatnot. Um, are you having problems with JPay? So the only school that I have left, winter quarter should be my last quarter. So summer, I'm taking a 5 credit course and then sign language, because it's only like 8 weeks. And then fall, I'm going to be taking my second sign language class, and then probably like a 1 credit keyboarding class or something just to get my 1 credit. And then winter, I am taking my last sign language class and like no more. Like I will be able to transfer all my credits over to Eastern Washington University, which is where I've been going. My dad told me like maybe a year ago, he's like, you should look up classes through the community college and see if they offer them there because it's like a third of what it cost at the university, and then just transfer your classes over. So that's what I've been doing like the last year pretty much, is taking them at the community college online, and then I'm going to transfer them over to the university. But yeah, so January is when winter quarter starts, and then so I think it's like April would probably be like graduation. So yeah, it's not too far out. It's getting closer. Like I said, I feel like I've been in school for freaking ever. Like I've been in school since what, 2016, 2017. So I already had my associates, but it was in medical billing and coding. And none of the school I went to was online like years ago when I was on house arrest in 2009. And when I was on house arrest, I decided to go to school online. So I got my associates in that, but they weren't transferable at all. So I literally had to start from scratch when I went back to school. Thank you, Irene, and welcome to my stream. I have not done this in like a long time. I'll have to go back and look. I think it's been like a year since I've done a live stream. But I'm just sitting here taking a break from work. I have about an hour until my next appointment. So I thought I would spend some time with you guys drinking my Starbucks and just chit-chatting a little bit, catching up with everybody. I guess I might do it tonight too, or yeah, because I don't have a video visit with my husband tonight. So I'm pretty much available tonight. And I know more people are apt to come online at night as opposed to like right in the middle of the afternoon. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to like throw them at me, whether it's about appeals, it's about like just being in prison, about going through like the EFV process, getting your visits taken away. getting visits, applying for visits, like dating somebody that's incarcerated, anything on the spectrum, like I am pretty sure that I can have an answer for you. Um, I know in some of my past videos I talked about how we lost our visits. So we were married in 2014. In 2017, we lost our visits. They were terminated, and so pretty much they said you will never get them back. But we didn't take that for an answer. We appealed it and we appealed it, and then we finally got them back. And we got them back December of this last year. So we went 2 years and 4 months without any visits at all. We just had phone calls, um, and letters, and I could still send emails. So we had everything but visits pretty much. So we still had a lot of communication, but it was the hardest like 2.5 years of my freaking life. Like we went through so many hardships. I am never that person that says like my relationship is perfect because it has never been perfect. Nobody's relationship is perfect. We've had our ups and downs. There was a moment where I moved to Colorado for a little while because I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I don't know if we're ever going to see each other again. You're not going to be out for another 10 years. So we've had our ups and downs, but like we've still like stayed together. Like no matter what, he's my best friend, even if we were to split up or get divorced or whatever, like he would have still been my best friend. And he understood everything that I was feeling and that I was going through. And that was, the amazing thing for me is like he didn't get mad at me when I said, I don't know if I could do this. He was just supporting me and, validating my feelings and letting me know that how I felt was okay, that he would still be there and, maybe things would be different when he got out, and that sort of thing. So, um, yeah, I would never say that my relationship was perfect because it's far from it. But I think being as transparent about these kind of things, like especially on, like a YouTube or streaming or whatever, even talking to like a group of people, like it gives you more topics, you know what I mean? It gives you more trust with, everybody. So people can feel like, okay, I can talk about this with, somebody, even though like I'm having problems and they, they're talking about like they don't have problems or whatever. I don't know. I'm just rambling, guys. I'm sorry. My husband keeps getting in trouble, so he's back in medium. Where's he at, Michelle? Is he like in Eastern Washington or is he in Western? Yeah, see, that was the problem, like, what, 3 years ago, is that, my husband wasn't doing everything that he should have been doing. So shit happens. I feel, we all make mistakes. I think in there, we can't really gauge what, like, the decisions that they make, like, we can't, I don't know, it's hard to say, but you can't be like, "Oh, like, why did you do that? You shouldn't have done that," because we don't know the exact situation, right? Like, what they're facing. Yeah, there's situations where they just made a stupid, shitty situation or a decision and they shouldn't have made, but I feel like there's a lot of situations that are just, like, prison related, you know what I mean? Like, decisions, like, whether it be, like, a fight or just dealing with, other inmates in there, like, it's a whole other world, so, like, that's something that we can't gauge unless we've gone through it ourselves. Um, how are you all over how are you all over there? He's currently adding me to the visit life, but who knows when I'll see him. Oh, in Washington? So Washington's visits are completely closed down right now. I'm gonna have to wrap this up. I just got a call from work. But yeah, it's totally closed down. The county jails, there's no in-person visits. The prisons, there's no in-person visits. Um, what else can I say about it? I've heard in the prisons, the video visits are crap. Like they're not working at all. Or they might just like freeze up constantly and like barely work. Phone calls I know are harder, so people are getting a lot less phone calls because there's less phones to use in there because of the wanting them to practice social distancing. So there's that, like, everything has just gotten way worse, you know what I mean, as far as communication. And then where Kevin's at right now in county, he's in a single cell unit, like where he's at, it's just single cells. So I like that. Because he doesn't have to share a cell with anybody. But like he gets phone calls. He usually calls me twice a day. But like today, he waited in line an hour and a half and he got to talk to me for like 5 minutes before he had to go back in. Um, we get video visits through county through Securus. It's been about 5 days a week. We get visits. They're for free. Like, so they're giving him the visits to us for free, which is awesome because they don't have the in-person visits. So we're lucky there. But yeah, other than that, like it's pretty crappy. Yeah, Michelle, I heard you guys are getting free visits every like 1 or 2 visits a week, something like that. But a lot of people said it's hard to schedule them because they're always full. Thankfully in county, like there might be 2 days out of the week that it's full, but usually I can get in, like I schedule a bunch at once. So then I have like this week I have visits Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I think, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, I think. Usually Monday and Friday is full, and then the rest of the days I can get in. So it's not too bad. Kevin's doing good. Like he always holds it together. He's been doing this for what, 17 and a half years. So he says he's a pro at it by now. But I've been ordering a lot of books for him on through Barnes and Noble. He was reading this like 12 book series. So I just sent him the last 3 books that he got today. Um, me and his mom have been putting money on his books. So he has got commissary every week. So he's like covered and with that aspect. His mom ordered him a newspaper. So he's got like crossword puzzles and stuff like that. But I know that, like, he's probably going crazy because he's locked down, like, 20 hours out of the day, so it's pretty shitty. Um, Mine's out in Washington, who knows with all the borders shut when I'll be able to see him, it's so depressing. I know, Christy, I've heard, like, a lot of people say, "Oh, like, maybe next week we'll get visits," but I honestly think that it'll be, like, September probably. Like September, October before they like reinstate visits. Just because like the state is on lockdown, you know what I mean? So until they lift all of those restrictions, like there's no way that DOC isn't even going to think about lifting restrictions on visits, I think. That's my opinion on it though. And then I think when we do get visits back, I think they're going to change it to where like maybe it might be 50% capacity in the visiting room as opposed to 100% capacity. Maybe instead of like having 6, 7 hour visits, maybe it'll only be like 3, 4 hours of visits. So I think they're going to change a lot for sure. We got our visits taken away because he got involved with, like, so the cellmate that he had was involved with a bunch of stuff. He ended up finding out that he was ratting a bunch of people out. And like 4 people, I guess, got in trouble all at the same time. Like, and they all got sent to different facilities. But we found out the guy that he was cellmates with ended up, as soon as he got transferred, he ended up getting everything back. He got his visits back. He got his family visits back. Got everything back. And Kevin is calling me right now. So I am going to let you guys go. I love you guys. I will try and go on and stream maybe tonight for a little bit because I don't really do much at night except for watch TV or work on homework. So anyway, it was cool talking to you guys for a good 30 minutes or so. And I will talk to you all later, okay? Bye, guys. Bye.